Hi everyone! Today I will be making a companion video to my other video of top 10 Potter females, which may be up here or down there. You know what, I don't know, it's going to be somewhere. But this will be the top 10 Potter males. So, this will be part 1. Stay tuned for part 2, that will be up at some point next week, and you can go watch them both. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Number 10 is Peter Pettigrew. Now, this is a weird one, I know. People hate him. They really hate Pettigrew, and I can completely understand why you would not like Peter Pettigrew. I mean, he is the reason that Lily and James died, realistically. But, hear me out, okay? He was brave in the end. He actually protected Harry and it cost him his life. If that's not a Gryffindor action, I don't know what is. He was a coward for most of his life, but J.K. Rowling seems to really like the redemption story, and Pettigrew is a redemption story. He did redeem himself. Even if it was only a little bit, it still counts. If it wasn't for him, maybe Harry would never have made it to the end of the series, and we'd have a very different ending. And by the way, I actually think Pettigrew might have been a little bit smarter than people had given him credit for, and braver. He was willing to put up with Voldemort. He literally had to live with Voldemort. That's kind of scary, and it takes some guts to actually do that. It also does take some nerve to double-cross your friends. It really does. It may not be a brave thing to do, it is cowardly, but it certainly takes nerve, and Gryffindor is known for having daring nerve. Number 9 is one of my favoritist characters, and people on Twitter might know why I believe this to be one of my favourite characters, but it is Regulus Black. I wish I had a picture for him, but unfortunately he's not even really mentioned that much in the films. Sorry. Regulus Black was also very brave. Incredible nerve he had. I love his story. It's also a redemptive story and sort of mirrors Pettigrew's in a way. They both were very questionable. Neither were very brave, and they did some questionable things in the name of Voldemort, but both of them saw in the end that it was not worth it, and one of them really did go the extra mile to redeem himself, and that was Regulus Black. He stole Voldemort's locket and replaced it with a fake. That takes some nerve and some guts and some cleverness, some real cunning and cleverness. And yes, that's why he was Slytherin, because that is pretty darn cunning. I love Regulus Black. In fact, I have multiple fanfictions about Regulus Black in which my self-insert character is basically in love with him and he's in love with me, but also I'm in love with Sirius and it's a bit awkward. Yeah. But that is why I love Regulus Black. He is a very brave character, and I really admire his redemption storyline. And I wish there was more of him in these books, but there isn't, so I have to deal. Number 8 is our dearest Rubeus Hagrid. Now, Hagrid is beautiful. He is kind, caring, sweet, lovable, all of those lovely adjectives that could describe Hagrid. He may be a giant, but he has a heart of gold, and he would never harm anyone. There really aren't very many people like Hagrid in our real world, sadly, and even in the wizarding world. He treats Harry like his own son in a way, and would never see any harm to any of his friends. He's fiercely loyal and very brave, and I would not want to mess with our Hagrid. If you get him angry, you'll see the giant come out in him. He's a lot like Newt, and I feel like they get along really well. I just love Hagrid's weird obsession with these creatures that are frankly dangerous and would usually kill people. I find it very interesting that he could not tame an acromantula, but get it to befriend him. That is something very special, very rare, and I really don't even think that Newt could do that. So that is why I love our dear Hagrid. Number 7 is Percy Weasley. a lot of people probably know by now, because I do talk about it quite a bit, that I love Percy Weasley, and I know that people don't like him because, well, what he did to his family was very low. I think we should agree on that, because it was low. But I understand him, because sometimes it's hard. You know, you've got 6 other siblings, and you are kind of in the middle, and you're trying to make a name for yourself when you've already had Charlie, who's a dragon tamer, and Bill, who is a curse breaker. I mean, you really need to make a name for yourself. He is very book smart, and I think that a lot of his family don't understand his bookishness, and that happens a lot. I'm sad to say that academics tend to be looked at as weird, nerdy people who need to get a life. It's not true. Percy, they didn't value you enough, and I do believe that, and that's why he went down that route of just trying to prove himself in a very wrong way. But I understand Percy, and I understand how it feels to be the kind of nerdy academic one who actually wants to do well, and sometimes people think that's weird. I do think that academia and academic achievement is something very undervalued in this world, and so academics tend to try a bit too hard and end up like Percy. But I love Percy, I can understand where he's coming from, and honestly, I'd probably marry Percy. And our final number for this particular part is dear old Remus Lupin. What can you say about Remus? He is so sleek. He is wonderful. He's humble. He's very quiet, understated sort of power that he has that he doesn't even know he has. He's very, very humble about it. He's self-deprecating, he puts himself down, but he surely knows what an amazing wizard he is. I hope he knows what an amazing wizard he is, because he is wonderful. He takes the time to value the strengths of every student he teaches. He brings out the best in Neville. He is the best teacher that they've had of Defense Against Dark Arts, and probably just the best teacher they've had in general, apart from maybe Flitwick, because I think he's a bit like that too. I love that he values every student, and it's amazing when you find teachers like that in real life. I've had a few, and it's very special, and it's very rare actually to come across teachers that care so much about the individual students, and they will put the time in, the extra effort in, and so I think that's probably why I like him the most. I really admire the way J.K. Rowling wrote him as a teacher. I know that J.K. Rowling has actually taught herself. She's been a teacher, and I can see where she was going with that. She wanted to show what a great teacher is, because it really can change a student's life. So that is why I adore Remus Lupin, and that is why he is number 6 on my list. Thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure to comment what you thought of my choices. They are probably a little bit controversial, but I'd love to hear what you think. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more Harry Potter videos, which there will be, there always are. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.